There are several exhibitions I will be giving you a synopsis on. The first exhibition will be the Dust in the Veins, which is a mixed media exhibition consisting of sculptures, mosaics, structures, and audio and visual. It is a sculpture representing a female anatomy with various indications as to the type or the location of Africa where water or clean drinking water is a critical issue. There are places in Africa where 2 gallons of water is the daily supplement, while us in the United States go through 200 gallons as a daily supplement of water. But the illustrations that are shown here in the display gives you a clear-cut example as to what is the crisis that governs Africa, the continent of Africa, and a lot of places throughout the world as to an issue of critical clean drinking water for citizens or its population. The second exhibition that is shown here is called the Reflections exhibition. It features a series of artists that a photographer has clearly shown. He has shown you the work area where most of the high-profile African American leaders of today are. There are sculptors, activists, songwriters, playwriters, choreographics. We are all shown basically their work area, and somewhere within the frame of that photograph is an actual mirror reflection of who the individual is. On some of the displays, it's very much a seek and find, because you will notice that it is mainly the individual work area, and sometimes you have to search around within the image to find where the reflection of that person is. The third illustration featured there is the one of Geoffrey Hines and Carmen de la Velas. I hope I'm pronouncing it. Gregory is a Trinidadian-born African-American citizen who came to the United States in the early 40s and 50s and established himself as a both painter, sculptor, photographer, costume designer, and his wife is a renowned choreographer and teacher of some of the famous teachers. His wife has taught acting lessons to people like Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, while the husband has starred in the infamous 7-Up commercials. He's also had a role in the legendary James Bond films, and he has had several acting parts that he has played throughout the years. He is mainly noted for his prominent, tall stature and his presence. He is a man that you clearly see has a presence to himself. And the exhibition here features some of his design sketches, his wife's artwork, some of her presentations done at the dance halls. Her stuff is featured. His costume designs are featured here. There's a very elegant show of several dresses worn by both the wife and other actors in the display, and showing the very attention to detail that he had in his design and the inspirations of the design. There's a lot of Asian American feel to it. There's a taste of Indian. There's a taste of Muslim as far as the articles and the clothing that is used. The fourth demonstration is the one consisting of the red, white, blue, and black, which is dear to my heart because it represents mainly the veterans. This illustration shows the contribution of African Americans throughout the conflicts, campaigns, engagements, and outright wars that the United States has been involved in, both as a colony and as an independent republic. It covers everything from the Spanish-American War with the Rough Riders and the former President Roosevelt, and it also covers the Spanish-American War, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, World War II, the War of Independence, the Civil War, the War of Attrition, the World War II, World War I, and mainly all the other wars. It features dog tags, letters, photos, little notebooks, artifacts and memorabilia from African American soldiers who took part in these engagements. The fifth and most exciting one is a display which features former Mayor Harold Washington. Harold Washington was a prolific mayor of the Chicago area within the 1990s eras. He was the two-time mayor at one point. He was a very energetic mayor. He had one mayor after the passing of the Daley family, or the Daley, Papa Daley. He was able to establish himself as a prominent figure in Chicago politics, loved by both blacks, whites, and everyone in between. He was one of the few mayors that was able to unite the city in all its cultures. Harold Washington's best and infamous quote was always in his campaigning was to simply say, if you want Harold, you've got Harold, here's Harold. That was his main quote. That at times was what was painted on some of the campaign buttons, and it was made as his basic slogan. Everybody attached to it and understood it. The sixth display that is there is called African Speaks. It is a representation, only a small portion of DuSable Museum's collections of African American artifacts. It entails masks, it entails textiles, designed textiles mainly from Africa and what is being used in Africa. They represent many ethnic groups, their histories, their traditions, affirmations that Africa is the vast and integral continent with many different cultures, many different religions, many different people, and civilizations in various stages of advancements. That's pretty much it. The third and the last portion of it is the actual institution called the Red House. It is an expansion that is being taken place by DuSable Museum. They are actually opening up another section which is located behind the museum and across the street. It's going to offer 61,000 square feet of display area. It is a former horse stable that was actually designed back in the late 1800s, 1870s I believe it was. It was designed for the World Columbus expedition that was held here in Chicago at that time. It is basically still a sound structure that has been here for several years. It has been acquired by the museum, and they are basically going to turn it into a complete campus. They're going to have libraries in different sections, libraries, community center, research facilities, all of these that are going to have the main focus to be that of the accomplishments and achievements of both men and women of African American or African descent. That completes my saying. Now we will speak to a few patrons and see what their view of the exhibition was. Hopefully you all like it.